John Robert Ouko, born on March 31, 1931, and passing away on February 13, 1990, was a prominent Kenyan politician with notable service in the government. His political career included 2 terms as the Foreign Minister of Kenya, spanning from 1979 to 1983 and then from 1988 to 1990. Ouko's dedication to public service extended from the colonial era through the administrations of Jomo Kenyatta to Daniel Arap Moi. Having represented Kisumu in the National Assembly and holding various cabinet positions, Ouko reached the pinnacle of his political career when he became the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation by 1990. Tragically, on February 13, 1990, he was discovered murdered in Muhoroni, marking one of the most enigmatic assassinations in Kenyan history that, to this day, remains unresolved. In 2010, a parliamentary report implicated the murder in one of then-President Daniel Arap Moi's official residences and urged further investigations into high-ranking officials, including Nicholas Biwott, a close ally of Moi. However, the report faced rejection by Parliament in late December 2010 due to a lack of consensus and internal disputes within the committee. Ouko's early life in Nyahera, Kisumu County, shaped his educational journey from Ogada Primary School to Nyang'ori School and ultimately the Siriba Teachers Training College. He commenced his career as a primary school teacher and later became the revenue officer of Kisii District in 1955. Ouko's academic pursuits led him to Haile Selassie University in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, where he graduated in 1962 with a degree in public administration, economics, and political science. Furthering his studies, he earned a diploma in international relations and diplomacy from Makerere University in Uganda. The murder investigations into the mysterious death of John Robert Ouko unfolded against a backdrop of political engagements and unsettling events. On January 27, 1990, Ouko, serving as the Minister of Foreign Affairs, departed Nairobi along with a delegation, including President Daniel Arap Moi, for a prayer breakfast meeting in Washington, D.C. The delegation returned on February 4, and on February 5, Ouko participated in a meeting with President Moi, the Japanese ambassador, the Canadian High Commissioner, Bethel Kipligat, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and Hezekiah Oyugi, Permanent Secretary, Internal Security. Following this meeting, on February 5, Ouko traveled to his country residence, a farm in Koru, located near Kisumu, about 300 kilometers from Nairobi. Accompanied by his driver and a bodyguard, he embarked on the journey to his rural retreat. However, the night of February 12 and 13 marked a chilling turn of events when Ouko mysteriously disappeared from his Koru farm near Muhoroni. The housemaid, Salina Wandolo, recalled being disturbed around 3 a.m. by a loud noise resembling a slammed door, followed by the sight of a white car turning at the minister's driveway before speeding away. A telephonist at Sango office near the Koru farm, Francis Cheruiyot, claimed to Detective Superintendent John Trun of Scotland Yard that on February 13, around 6 a.m., he observed Hezekiah Oyugi, accompanied by 3 others, driving past the post office in a white car. However, Cheruiyot hesitated to provide a written statement, and Oyugi failed to produce the daily log of his official car, adding an air of suspicion to the unfolding investigation. The discovery of John Robert Ouko's body on February 13 brought a tragic end to the mysterious circumstances surrounding his disappearance. Local herdsboy Joseph Shikuku, also known as Shikulu or Shikuru, found Ouko's lifeless body at approximately 1 p.m. near Got Alila Hill, 2.8 kilometers from Ouko's country home. Despite Shikuku informing local villagers of the discovery, it was not immediately reported to the police. Official acknowledgement of Ouko's death only occurred on February 16 following a subsequent police search. Detective Superintendent John Trun of Scotland Yard, tasked with investigating the case, developed a theory based on initial findings. Trun's inquiries revealed deep-seated familial discord within the Ouko family. Witness statements from Ouko's wife, Christabel, and various family members, including his sister Dorothy Randiak, brothers Baroque and Collins, sister-in-law Esther Mboja, family Dr. Joseph Olak, and family friend Eric James Oyango, testified to a prolonged and intense family dispute. Dorothy Randiak's initial statement shed light on the root cause of the conflict. In 1985, the following happened. Baroque was working as deputy PC in Nakuru in the Rift Valley province. From there he was transferred to Deputy Secretary at the Attorney General's office. He did not want this move and he blamed it on Robert Ouko because he had ambition to become provincial commissioner. Barok discussed the move to try and prevent it, but Robert did nothing about it because of reasons of which they both knew. This caused a lot of bitterness on Barok's part against Robert, but Robert had no bad feeling towards Barok. The situation still exists. Barok also influenced Collins, which in turn caused him to show bitterness against Robert also. The bitterness of both these brothers was maintained throughout and remained until the time Robert disappeared. In her second statement provided to Detective Superintendent John Troon on March 27, Dorothy Randiak revealed a disturbing incident involving a family photograph discovered in December 1989. The photograph, located in her mother's house, had the image of her mother intentionally cut out. Ouko, attributing this act to his brother Collins, confronted the issue. According to Randiak, Collins had gone to the extent of warning their mother never to visit the house again, threatening to harm her if she defied his directive. Troon, in his final report, expressed his dissatisfaction with the level of disclosure from Ouko's immediate family. He observed a pervasive atmosphere of fear within the family, hindering them from fully revealing what he believed some of them might know. This ambiguity added complexity to the investigation, suggesting that the family might be withholding crucial information. In a separate development, a parliamentary report from 5 years ago made a sensational claim regarding Ouko's death. According to the report led by former Kisumu Town East Go Sanga and tabled in Parliament, Ouko was allegedly killed at Statehouse, Nakuru. The report suggested that the former Foreign Affairs Minister fell victim to an assassination plot after a fallout with a powerful minister during a U.S. tour. The document proposed an investigation into key figures in retired President Mo's government believed to be involved in Ouko's disappearance and subsequent death. The report raised questions about the circumstances surrounding Ouko's demise and the potential involvement of influential individuals in the highest echelons of the government at the time. The committee zeroes in on 4 individuals including Mr. Nicholas Biwott, a former minister, for their role in the murder. The report claims that Dr. Ouko had already been sacked and his security detail withdrawn a week before he disappeared. Dr. Ouko is said to have fallen out with Mr. Biwott, a powerful ally of Mr. Moa, while on a tour of Washington with the former president. The two were involved in a confrontation on the visit after Mr. Biwott sarcastically referred to Dr. Ouko as Mr. President. The report says that the committee received evidence to the effect that Mr. Biwott and former Nyanza PC Julius Kobia were present as Dr. Ouko was abducted by police and intelligence agents. It further alleges that he was bundled into Mr. Kobia's car and driven to Statehouse, Nakuru, where he was killed in the presence of Mr. Biwott among others. His body was then dumped near his Koru home. A Hard's boy identified as Mr. Shikuku discovered the body at the foot of Got Alila on February 13 and the matter reported to the provincial administration. However, the report says the government announced that discovery on February 16, 3 days later, allowing for the burning of the body and interference with the scene. The report says that the trip to Washington worsened relations between Dr. Ouko and the former president, and his attempts to see the latter over the issue were futile. Dr. Ouko finally secured an appointment with Mr. Moa at Statehouse in Nairobi on February 5, 8 days before his disappearance. The parliamentary report surrounding the death of Dr. Ouko unveils a series of intriguing events and allegations. According to the report, Dr. Ouko visited Statehouse, where he met the former president, received off-duty status, and was directed to rest at his Koru farm. Strikingly, the report claims that Dr. Ouko had already been dismissed from his position. Subsequently, his official car was withdrawn and returned to the ministry, then his bodyguards were recalled. Additionally, the report alleges that Dr. Ouko's passport was withheld at the airport after his return from the Washington trip. The parliamentary committee recommended a government investigation into the incidents and individuals at the ministry during that time. Notably, former Permanent Secretary Bethuel Kipligat and a Mr. Malaki Adenyo were named, along with a call for an investigation into Nicholas Biwott's role in Dr. Ouko's death. Other figures mentioned include the late Hezekiah Oyugi, former Internal Security Permanent Secretary, Mr. Kobia, also deceased, then former Nakuru DC Jonah Anguka. The report goes further to suggest that the crime scene at Got Alila was tampered with items brought in to simulate suicide. It alleges an attempt by authorities to cover up the killing and calls for investigations into the conduct of then Police Commissioner Philip Kilonzo, now deceased, and other senior police officers in Nyanza province. Compounding the mystery, the report recommends the exhumation of the bodies of individuals linked to the investigation into the killing who have since died. This extraordinary measure is proposed to ascertain the cause of their deaths and potentially uncover further evidence related to the complex circumstances surrounding Dr. Ouko's demise.